Well, as you can tell on this particular letter that I chose, the letter's kind of fat. It doesn't look like it'll work real well if I'm doing an overlapping or interlocking type design. So what I can do now is I can come back here and I can change it back to regular. That does actually look a little bit better. Now what I'm going to do is right mouse click, and I'm going to, I guess I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do select it, I'm going to do a Control C and Control V, and I'm going to copy and paste that. So now I've got two R's out here. Well, my initials are RP for Richard Platt. So what I'm going to do is take this one R down here, and I'm going to go ahead and double click on that, and I'm going to hit the backspace and key in P. Oops, that's lowercase, so I'll key in Shift P, and that's the uppercase. So now you can see here I've got two overlapping logos that are kind of the same size and same format. Now I'm going to do a Control A, and I'll select both of those. I'm going to kind of arrange those here on my board. This again is the cutout of the wood that I'm going to use to make my tissue box. Now looking at this closely, a couple things come to mind. One, I want to try to get a standard size. So before I do anything, I'm going to right mouse click and create outlines. Basically, the create outlines commands converts the text into outlines or just basic artwork. So then I can scale it, do whatever I want relative to how I would treat artwork. So I'll create outlines. Now, once I've got that done, you can see it's just a bunch of dots that are selected out here. If I come over here to transform, I can see a couple things. One, I've got the XYZ location of those two particular items in my working space here. Or I can also see out here the width and the height. What I'm more concerned about is the height. I'm going to go ahead and set that to 4.5 inches. Now notice over here is this chain. When I do those together, they'll scale relative to each other. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and that way they scale correctly together. So I'm more concerned about the height, and everything looks good at this point. Now, to get these into Illustrator and to do the way I need to do them, I'm going to go ahead and do a Control A again. I'm going to come over here to my Tools panel, and I'm going to set my default fill and stroke. Now as you notice, I've got the fill is white and the stroke is black. Well, with this is highlighted in front, I can double click it and I can change the text color, or excuse me, the fill color to red. Well, I don't want to do that right now. I want to go back to the default, but I want to put a slash through here where I have no fill. So I've done that, and now I have no fill, as you can see. Now I'm going to use my zoom command, which is over here on the panel. Notice how it says the Z off there to the right of that where it says zoom. What that says, I can use my Z key. So I'm going to step over here to the right of that, and I'm going to hit my Z key, and watch how the zoom command highlights. Yeah, there it is. And then I can come over here and I can zoom to this area to see these two objects. Well, obviously they don't really overlap each other. They overlap, but they're not actually collinear to each other or on the same line size as these. So I'm going to take this one here and select it. And using my up arrow, I'm going to nudge that up. Well, that's maybe too much. Let's zoom up on that a little more using my Alt command and center mouse button to zoom up. So remember that Alt command center mouse button. Now what I can do is I can kind of get these guys pretty close to overlapping each other and lined up. So what I'm going to do now is do a Control 0 to zoom out, and there I can see both. Now what I'm going to do is do a Control A and select both of those, making sure both are selected. And now I'm going to try to make these into one solid piece of artwork. I'm going to use my Shape Builder command, and I'll come over here and I'll highlight one of these. See how this one comes up in a little checkerboard? And I'm going to go click here and hold my left mouse button down and drag. See the line up here? Over into my right side where the P is, and that'll make both of those combined. Let's see what we got here. It looks like it didn't combine, so I'm going to zoom up on that and double check. Let's see here. Let's move that aside. Looks like it did move them in together. Well, let's go ahead and zoom out, do Control 0, and we'll probably have to come back and modify that. That's not a problem. We can definitely do that. So I'm going to zoom way up on that and see what I've got here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select my direct selection command, and I'm going to highlight one of these, and I'm going to grab that point and I'm going to hit the delete command or the minus command. See if that takes care of that. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit using my Alt command and center mouse button, and I'll get rid of that command right there. Okay, it looks like they didn't actually join together, so I'm going to do a Control Z one more time. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy here and do a right mouse click and ungroup. So now they're ungrouped. Move that to the side, that'll work. I'll just move this guy where it really overlaps like that. Okay. Now, using my black arrow, I'm going to do a Control A and select them all again, and do my, let's do my Shape Builder command again. And I'll select that, Shape Builder, drag to the right. That's joined, and I'll grab over here to the left, and now it's joined together. Let's do a Control 0. And now you can see both of my logos are joined together. I'm going to stop for now, come back to this.